don't spoil the whole bunch, girl.
Oh, give it one more try before you give up on love.
One bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, girl.
Oh, I just matched Donny Osmond on that. I'm playing Bad Apple, and right when I said, oh, he did, but I sounded better. With that being said, it's 9:19, Rusty Wheat, Chain Gang in the studio. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Doing very, very good.
So, I was talking to you on the phone yesterday, and I met you in passing before when you were here talking with Dan about your cleanup efforts, and just right off the bat, I want to say, I get on the microphone and, bitch and moan about things being done, and maybe we should do it, and I just think it's really great that you're out there actually doing what, is, on your mind and what needs to be done with the litter pickup. I think it's really great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I take a lot of pride into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is somewhat humbling sometimes when you keep people drive by and they look at you, but I take a lot of pride in the fact that I'm helping out the community.
And how did that start? Was that always just something you saw and just got frustrated with time and time again? Or?
No, it just started originally, I think back in February, about 6 months ago with the landfill. I called the landfill and asked them to come out and clean up some of the trash that was falling off the trucks. And they told me that it wasn't their issue anymore. It wasn't their problem. I would have to talk to the trucks. So I asked them, give me a name of the trucking companies, and they would not provide that. So I just started trying to prove to them that it wasn't just my problem. It was going to be their problem, too.
Right.
And that's what started all this. So I just started picking up trash and trying to call as much attention to this as possible.
Well, and on top of that, last week we were talking to Councilman Dittmers and Plank with the city of Wood River, and they were talking about the road that goes in from Edwardsville. And is that the road that you maintain?
Yes, and that's kind of what sparked it, me thinking about coming and talking to you on there. I listened to Bill Dittmers talk about the importance of Highway 143. It's the first thing they see when they come to Wood River off of 255. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's my stretch of highway. I call it my stretch of highway. It's everybody's stretch of highway, but I've adopted that road, and I take a lot of pride in keeping it clean and such. So when people do come in and off of 255 and they're going to Edwardsville or Wood River, that's the first thing they notice is that there's not as much trash around here as there is in other places.
So before I really got to know you and know what you were doing with this, I was driving that road, it had to be a couple months ago, and I just, you finally take the blinders off and you go, God dang, I mean, this looks a lot better than it has done in the past. And it's really cool to meet the person that's behind that and really leading that effort.
Well, there's a gentleman that lives up in Kendall Hill, and there's a few other ones that have always been taking care of the entrance of the Kendall Hill, but they're kind of limited. They couldn't go as far as their physicalities couldn't allow them to go do as much as they wanted to.
Right.
So I joined in with them, and then I just kind of took over doing some things along the hillside areas that they couldn't. And now I just kind of patrol it as it's my own, and I welcome anybody that wants to help out. That's
what I was going to ask you. So I love the signs. I saw the email you sent me yesterday, the Chain Gang signs. I think that's great. How did you come up with the name?
I was trying to figure out a way to slow down the traffic as they come through 143. That's a lot of people on their way. And so I was trying to figure out a way to slow traffic. And I remember when I was a child seeing in certain areas of the country, they would have chain gangs out cleaning up, doing road projects and such. And so I thought, if I put a chain gang sign out here, people are going to drive by and they're going to want to look and see where the convicts are at and see who's doing the work. And that might get them to slow down. And so I had an old sign, I painted it up and just got the stencil out and put some words to it. And it says chain gang ahead, slow down. And it looks official, but it's not illegal because it doesn't have any county or anything on there. And the name of my group, what I call myself, well, I'm a single person in this group, but I call myself the Chain Gang.
Right.
And so legally, I don't think they could touch me on that. It is interesting. I had the Madison County Police pull up the other day, and they took a good hard look at it, and I think they even took a picture of it, and then they drove on. But, it's just kind of I'm just hoping that it gets people to think what they're doing and drive by.
Yeah, well, and too, I was going to ask you, if I was in your position, just starting the process of getting out there, I mean, you're on a stretch of road where people are getting to where they need to be and are kind of in a hurry a lot of the times. What were some of the struggles or some of the maybe hurdles getting out there and getting the trash picked up?
Just dealing with the municipalities, basically. You always try and look for help as far as picking up trash and stuff. IDOT is pretty good. I can set a couple of bags of trash out there, and with a day or two, they'll come by and pick it up. So it's just getting to know the right person. Certain phone numbers, the Wood River Garage for IDOT, and the people there. But really, you just have to get out there. It's trial and error. You get out there, and everybody knows how to do it. But it's just a matter of staying away from the cars, trying to be as safe as you possibly can, and trying to draw as much attention as you can.
So is there one item that's just the worst to clean up out of all of them? For me, because when I was at I did very briefly, I would help out, maybe with a bar or two and then go clean up some stuff. And there's nothing worse than an old beer bottle that is just sitting there smelling.
Yeah. You get to see everything. And there's a lot of different discussions things in the bottles out there. One of the things that drives me absolutely crazy, though, is the things that fall off the truck. And one of the items that I'm constantly finding is a box that holds like 50 caliber shells. It's a little casing that holds all the shells. There's no shells in the box or anything, but it's just the casing that holds it. And it's coming from the Winchester Gun Club.
Yeah.
And it's a trash truck that picks it up from the Winchester Gun Club, comes right down 143 and goes to the landfill, and it falls off alongside that road. I find those particular items more than anything, and it infuriates me because I try to say, landfill, look, I could tell you this trash is coming from this location and it's going to this location and it's falling off here. This is your trucks. Can you please do something about it? But still, they just fall. It falls on deaf ear. But I wanted to talk something about what Madison County is going to be doing now. When you mentioned the traffic going down the roads and stuff, it is a hazard, and that often prevents a lot of groups from participating in the Adopt a Highway program with the state because they're fearful of the kids getting close to the road or elderly church members and stuff. But the county roads are out there, and they're often a lot safer. The traffic is not as heavy. They still need to be worked on too.
Yeah.
And so, but there was no Madison County Adopt a Highway program, as to say. So I talked to Adam Walden. He's a county engineer, and once upon a time there was a program that they would do that. And when I say Adopt a Highway program, for those that aren't familiar with it, basically what you do, you adopt a certain stretch of road, and the state will come out and put a sign up for whatever, if you want to put your group's name or if you want to put a memorial or things like that, they will put a sign up at each end of your section. And so it's a good way to get the people involved to come out and participate. And so the county took a look at it, and they were thinking about doing the same thing. In the meantime, St. Clair County has started up their own Adopt a County Highway program. And so Madison County, I talked to Adam Walden, and he told me that I could go ahead and announce on here today that it's about 99% certain that they are going to start their own program. He told me that it falls into his lap and to make the decision, and he's leaning towards doing it very heavily, and he can't see any reason why it would not go into play. So with that being said, church groups, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts in Madison County can apply for a county road, something maybe that near and dear to them. Could be just a neighborhood road or something of that nature. They can apply for it, and it can become their special project where they clean it up and take a lot of pride into it and make sure that it doesn't get in the same condition that the roads were in the past 6 months ago.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I remember, just hearing some of the levels of trash you were picking up, because, I mean, let's be honest, you weren't picking up, a Schnucks bag full of garbage. You were picking up thousands of pounds, wasn't it?
Well, there was a lot of trash. I just stopped counting after a while. It got to be about 30 bags, and you just, you got those big contractor bags. And
man.
You just, and I know I'm a pain in the butt to the guys at the highway department because I'm calling them all the time. They're thinking, good God, is there that much trash out there? And they got to be wondering if I'm getting it from other locations. But no, I'm not. There's just a tremendous amount of trash that comes off of 255 up 143 up that hill by Kendall Hill Estates, goes to the landfill. It's a tremendous amount. Now, it's slowed down significantly. It has, and I think that has to be because of community efforts. People were raising hell about it, and wanting to get something done and calling their board members. And finally, the board members are actually trying to put some teeth into it. But I'm not satisfied at all with what's going down with what they've done. They've appropriated a certain amount of money. I think it was like $250,000 to try to. What I was told is they were going to use it for law enforcement to enforce some of the trucks that make sure they had their curtains on the back of the truck and such. I don't know what has happened. I think it just went into overtime for IDOT workers. in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not for certain on that, but I think that's where that money was allocated to. And I just don't feel like it's IDOT's responsibility to have to pick up the landfill's trash or the trucking company's trash.
You're absolutely. I'm right there with you on that.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, you're getting paid a lot of money to be that trucking company for the landfill and to really do the service. And if you can't follow a simple thing and just keep everything clean, it's not like you're asking them to, rewire the truck. It's just cover it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand that disconnect.
Yeah, so to go full circle, I guess that's what started it all. When like I say the guy just told me that it was not his responsibility, it's not his problem, it was my problem. I just wanted to present to him that it was not just my problem, it was his problem. And since then, I've adopted a stretch of the Illinois Highway, and I'm adopting. I believe I'm going to be the first person in the new program to have a road adopted under the Madison County program. I'm hopeful of that anyway. But I encourage anyone that has any interest in this to contact Adam Walden. He's your county engineer from Madison County, and his telephone number is 618-296-4540. And tell them you're interested in this program and you'd like to see maybe your group can get a sign out that says the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts,
right.
Or maybe just someone dear to your heart. You could put them in memory of them. So it's a good program. We don't see enough of it. You used to see a lot of community activism, helping to do things like this. And so, I've even taken a step further. I put a sign on my truck now. It's a crazy truck. I think you saw that picture.
Yep.
I put it on there. It says, "Be the change you want to be." Be the change you want to see, rather. Clean roads and a brighter tomorrow. And I honestly believe that,
Well, I'm right there with you, and Rusty, because here's my thought. It all starts with, getting up every day and just how, things hit you. To me, if I'm getting up and I'm driving on a beautiful stretch of road without seeing trash, my morning's already a little bit better, But if I'm driving down and I'm seeing, and I've seen it on exactly where you're talking about, where there's just junk flying off of these trucks, and it's dangerous for the drivers, too. I mean, because my thought is, whatever happens if someone's behind this truck, something flies out of it, and then all of a sudden it causes an accident.
Well, I want Bill Dittmers and the people of Wood River to know that is my stretch of road out there.
Yeah.
I take it very personal, and I clean that road. So if you want to take accolades for all the things that you're doing at Wood River, I just hope that you get to know the person that's out there that actually cleaning up the entrance to it. And you're welcome to join me anytime you like. But I listened to Bill Dittmers speak about that the other day, and I thought, well, I'm just going to give him a call and introduce myself and let him know that that people like myself are going to be holding him accountable as well, as members of Madison County and the landfill and the EPA and all those other organizations.
Was it a productive conversation? Or
I have not spoke with him.
Oh.
I wrote to him, but he has not wrote back.
Okay.
So.
Well, and that's what I was just curious, because to me, this isn't a political issue at all.
Not at all.
And the fact of the matter is, that first came out, it was going through the county board, and there was a individual coming out from Edgar County and maybe saying that he had an idea of where the trash was coming from, and that was a little wild.
Yeah, that guy, he just put a bad light into everything we were trying to accomplish. He starts making accusations towards the Hispanics, and it was totally unfounded and just infuriated me. I wanted to go choke that guy because I'm trying to get the board's ear about doing something to make a positive step in the community, and he's bad-mouthing the Hispanics.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I called him. I said, come on the show and debate me on this.
Yeah, he's an idiot. In my mind, he's an idiot.
He is. And I was going to ask you about that, because here you are working your ass off to try to get some change done, and you have this, Yahoo coming in and just kind of going out of left field.
I'm sure everybody is unaware of what we're talking about, but there was a board, when we had the board meeting, and we were speaking out against the trash in the community, we had an activist that was there, and he represented some community up in Chicago, I believe, and he was going around various different board meetings, and he was trying to present his case that the trash problems weren't the trucking industry, it was the Hispanics that were migrating from Mexico. Yeah. I think he must have been on the payroll for those trucking companies or whatever, but everybody pretty much thought he was, I'm in one, I thought he was an idiot, and I think most people did, so, but that's neither here nor there. We've got a good amount of community activism going this. I know I've had help with board members Allison Lamont, organizing Earth Day event. We had a tremendous Earth Day cleanup activity for Madison County, and there was just a lot of things going on. The fact that I was able to adopt the highway that I hold so dearly, and it's just a lot of things. And I've always said it before, those things are above my payroll. That, you know, this stuff is happening, and I think it's for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just going to ride it out and do what I'm supposed to do.
Do you have time to stick around for a moment?
Absolutely.
We're going to take care of a little bit of business, but we'll be continuing this conversation with Rusty Wheat, learning all things chain gang, and talking more about this Madison County Adopt a Highway program that 99% likely is going to be coming down the pipeline, you know, hopefully coming soon. But wanted to fill you guys in because on Friday, Vanilla Ice is in town because we love the 90s. You know, I like Queen's version better of the song, Rusty. I'm just going to say it. You know, I don't know if I can.
I love Queen.
With that being said, you can come and revisit one of my favorite decades. I love the 90s. I love watching all those old shows, those old graphics, you know.
Well,
really
you just weren't
enjoy
born in the 70s, buddy. All the good music was in the 70s.
Oh, no, that's a good argument to have, too. But on Friday, Rob-based tag team All for One of the One, the only Vanilla Ice Baby, taking the stage at the Alton Riverfront. Tickets are limited but still available, and I want you there to kick it with me on August the 4th. Show starts at 6, doors open at 6, opening act at 7, and the main show at 8 p.m. It's a hell of a fun show. So many people have already seen this act before in Vegas or different parts of the country, and they highly encourage you to go. For more information, metrotix.com or Alton Riverfront Amphitheater.com, and I'll see you on August the 4th.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Yeah, baby, she's got it. Well, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire at your desire. Well, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire at your desire.
Welcome back. It is 9:37. A little bit of change, playing a little bit of Venus, you know, the original, not that, you know, CoverGirl theme song they stole from, you know. I love Venus, but now I can't because now I think of that commercial and it just ruins it for me every time, Rusty. We're back here with Rusty Wheat, organizer of the Chain Gang. And really, Rusty, before we go any further, Dan wrote a fantastic write-up, I think, a couple of months ago about some of your efforts. And, you know, for the folks that maybe aren't aware, how did you get involved? And what was the, you know, with this road, why is it so important to you?
Well, I was out there cleaning it, and first off, it was always because of the proximity of it. Every time I'd come home from Belk Park, I would have to go through this barricade of trash every day, and it just was driving me crazy. And I never really understood what was driving me nuts about it. So I started out there picking up and cleaning and starting my project as far as trying to help organize a few things. And one day I was out there, and it occurred to me that on that hillside going up Kendall Hill, that's where my brother was killed. 45 years ago. He was killed by a drunk driver. Him and my best friend, Jeff Arnold, they were they were waiting. They were trying to pick me up. I was working overtime, and they were waiting for me, and they were killed by a drunk driver in the process of coming to get me. So it occurred to me that I was out there one day, and I was picking us up, and I was like, right on that hillside is where they laid them out after the collision. And so it's kind of been this sacred ground for me, but out of sight, out of mind for a long time. But I guess subliminally, it must have stayed there because it bothered me and infuriated me, and it put a thorn under my butt for a long time. And so when I seen that they had that road available, the first thing I did, I reached out to a gentleman that was cleaning that road, a gentleman by the name of Woody, that was cleaning that road. And he would clean up the entrance of Kindle Hill Estates and such. And he had no interest in doing the Adopt a Highway program. And then I found out that the Madison County Parole Board was interested in adopting it. And so I didn't want that to happen. So I thought, I'm going to see if I could adopt that road. And like I said, the powers that be above must have been shining down on me because one day I was out there picking up trash and I looked up and there was a sign that said, "In memory of David Wheat." And that was my brother. He was killed. And the guy that killed him, back then the laws were a lot looser on drunk drivers. And so he basically suffered no legal penalty at all. And I would see him in the community from time to time. So, it's been something that's been on my mind for a while. Obviously, you can't escape things like that.
No.
So the best thing I could do is put it in a positive light. And that's what I started doing. Some things, I don't know why I'm doing things. That sometimes I just try to make the best of it when it occurs. And this is one of those for instances. And I just got to attribute it to, like I said, the man upstairs or somebody above my payroll, because I just try to make the best of a situation. That's about it.
I'm telling you what, it's just incredible. And how hard is it? What's the process like to adopt a highway from IDOT? Just for the folks that don't know.
With the state, it's very easy. You can just go to the IDOT website and look. You could find your way around to somewhere along the bottom. It's going to say Adopt a Highway program, and you could look into it. There's a lot of different places that are available. A lot of them along the interstates of 255 and other state highways. But like I said, you got to think twice about doing it because your safety is the utmost importance.
I do, though, like you said earlier, this Madison County Adopt a Highway program, if it comes to fruition, which, like you said, looks like it will, this is a lot safer for folks.
Yeah. I don't think Adam would have wanted me to discuss it. In fact, I told him I wanted to know if maybe he wanted to come on and talk about it today, but he said, no, just go ahead. He's fairly confident that he's going to go through it. The way I understand it, it was something he brought before the board, and it was thrown back into his lap if he wanted to appropriate the funds to do such a thing. And I don't know how much funds are going to be able. I think the payback is going to be immense off of this. So
I think you're right, and the reason being is the more that you take care of your community, the more invested you are.
Absolutely.
And I'm a firm believer, and my hope is that some younger kids in my generation, that maybe are trying to, maybe they work a full-time job like I do, because I'm going to look into it and see if there's a stretch around here that maybe I can maintain.
Yeah, you could have your own RiverBender.com stretch of highway.
I'm liking it. We'll
get John out there.
We'll get two then. I'll get a Daily Show one. Then we'll get John on the road next door.
Yeah, there you go. But I really think that I have to put. I can't tell Adam how much I appreciate him putting the more thought into this, because it was something that they used to have and now it went away. And I truly believe it to be something good for a lot of local, a lot of groups and churches and just places like establishments like yourself.
Well, and too, what my thought is, and I'm not volunteering any of you guys out there, just because my text line, whenever I check it at the end of the hour, I get a lot of hate mail sometimes. So I just want to make sure you guys know I'm not volunteering you. But for me, athletic organizations like, an Alton Athletic, an Alton Athletic Association or Rotary Club, those are really great.
The football team, the Roxana football team, the Wood River football team. Yeah, there's all kinds of county roads that they can get their name and get a little notoriety from. And in my case for the IDOT program, you mentioned that, they asked me what I wanted to put on there. Now, I call myself the Chain Gang. That was just because of the sign.
Right.
But what I put on the sign was in memory of my brother, and that was so cool that they allowed me to do that.
What does that mean when you see that sign?
It is amazing. I go up to the park every morning. I leave, and it's dark when I'm heading to the park, and my light shines on it, and it just has a feeling that runs through you. I think it's a sense of accomplishment, I guess.
Yeah.
It wears off, but then again, it never wears off.
It always comes back.
Yeah. You try and keep yourself grounded, and think, yeah, that's my brother's name right there, but you try and keep yourself grounded because it's not that big a deal. But then again, like I said, it's a very big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. And I wanted to ask you, how often, for the folks that are interested in this, what's the cleanup routine look like?
As needed. I go out there as needed. I go out there probably about once every other week. And get maybe a bag or two, depending on what stretch I'm going to clean. Right now, they've got a lot of activity going on at the bottom of 143, around 255, with that new athletic center that they're putting in.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that
sports farm.
For the Gators baseball and softball club. So there's a lot of trash developing there. So yeah, typically about twice a month.
Well, that's not bad. I'm going to do this. We're going to have a daily show, Madison County Road. I'm feeling this. And John, I hate to volunteer us, but I think we might have a Riverbender one. I love it.
Anybody that wants to participate is more than welcome. And when Dan wrote that article about me, he listed my cell phone number, and I had a person from Colorado contact me. It was pretty amazing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, a friend of mine from Colorado read that online and contacted me. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
What I wanted to ask you this, and I don't know if it's ever happened, but it's just something I thought about during the break. Have you ever had someone, while you're cleaning, picking up trash, throw something or give it the old heave-ho out the window?
Yeah. You get sometimes I'll be over on Madison Avenue on tail end of South Roxana, right by 255. A lot of construction workers going in and out of the refinery. And I've had some incidents out there where guys will come by and say stuff. Most people are pretty positive, but I had a guy flip a tea bottle at me one time. And
what?
Yeah, he flipped a tea bottle at me. He goes, "Here, pick this up." And he threw it at my feet. And
I'd have been on the news. I'd have been on the local news.
Well, I called the mayor and told him about it, and I think they started. And in fact, I've called the refinery and talked to the spokesman out there, and she told me she would button them up a little bit, and make sure that they respect it. And I think that they sent some kind of memo out that said that would not be tolerated. So.
Well, all I know is I to have the wherewithal and really just the mental fitness and capacity, because I would have seriously gone ballistic. I would have been out in the middle of the road throwing things at this guy.
I'm not saying I wasn't. I mean,
right.
What are you going to do? I chase him down the road. I'm standing there with a bag of trash and a spike in my hand, and he's pulling in the refinery. There's probably about 200 other refinery workers that would jump in on his side. So I'd best let it go and fight another day.
That would have been a tough fight. That would have been a tough fight. Well, and that's what I just think this is really incredible. And, for the county, too, to really recognize, in a way, your contributions and saying, hey, if you want to go and let people know that this is going to start coming, I mean, that speaks highly of you. Yeah, they put a little bit of trust into me. I appreciate that. When I talked to Adam, he said, he felt I'm pretty confident that I can get out there and talk. And like I said, so I'm pretty happy about that. And when I talked to you about maybe you might want to reach out to Adam to verify a few things, and you let me go on too. You're like, oh no, it's okay. I'm sure you. I did. That's a sense of pride that you can't get from just sitting around home writing letters. You know what I mean? You got to get that from out there actually living it and picking it up. I hate to say this publicly. John Hendrick just said, sign me up. We're ready to go. We're ready. We're getting 2 roads, Madison County. I'm telling you. Good deal. Well, and I like this because for the people that because for me, when I first read the article, I went, well, if it's an every, once a week thing or even twice, let's just say once a week. For me, I couldn't know if I could deliver that time, but every other, I mean, that's actually great to know. Not. I use it I like to walk. And so I use it for activity. Even when there's not a lot of trash out there, I'll just figure it out part of my walking plan, and some days, I get out there, and that's why you got to pay a lot of attention to what you're doing, because sometimes you forget the cars are zooming by you about 60 miles an hour. Right. And you're about 3 or 4 feet away from them. So I have my orange vest or my yellow vest on, my highway vest on, but you got your headphones on, and you're kind of jamming, you're kind of getting with it. In your own world, man. I got my stick with a spike on it. I'm jamming and I'm sticking stuff hard, getting a lot of frustration out there. Man, exactly. Exactly. And it's just funny. Every time one of those big trucks come by with trash, you feel like making hand gestures at them. Yeah. And they got to realize those people, they're just doing a job. Right. They have no control over the amount of trash that's coming out of their truck. That's got to do. The sad part is everybody's making money on it, but the lowest paid individual is the guy that's walking around that truck and checking to make sure that screen is on. You're right. And he is the weakest chain in the link. And then once he says, okay, you're good to go, that truck pulls off, and everybody else has done their job. And meanwhile, the trash is flying out the back, and
people are raising hell and calling the EPA, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm telling you what, you're absolutely right. Because, and too, what I like with this is, like you said earlier, if you haven't, if you're just joining us, Madison County, it seems like we'll be having this adopt a county highway program.
Yes.
But what I like about it, because Rusty, I don't know if you've been looking at me, I weigh about 48 pounds soaking wet, a gust of wind, and I'm on 70. So I was worried, like, if a semi truck, because you feel that when they're driving by it.
You sure do.
And is it one of those? So do you have any tips for somebody if
get yourself a couple sandbags, tie them around your waist, and when you get going, it'd increase your workout and provide you a little extra security.
I love it, man. Hey, is there a way that people can reach out to you if they want to, maybe help the chain gang out and contribute their time?
Absolutely. I mean, I've had people that request help me, but it's something that I don't need to. You don't need to spend your weekends if you have some available time and you want to come out. But I encourage people to look for your own projects. There's so much out there to do. I'll take care of what I've got. Believe me, there's enough out there for everyone. So, so that's what I would suggest. But yeah, if someone does want to reach out to me, they could always contact me on 670-6804. That's my cell phone number, and I don't want any crazy people calling me or anything. But you're always welcome to call me and maybe just hash out some ideas. I get people. I've gained probably about 40 new friends since I started this project. And it's funny because everybody from Chris DeCliff to Kurt Prenzler to, it's just amazing. It's just there's a lot of amazing people out there.
There are, and like we talked about earlier, going across the aisle too. I mean, trash isn't a political talking point. It's just pick the damn trash up and keep the community clean.
Yeah. Marty Reynolds from Roxana. Jack Latemp, board member from Roxana, the Roxana police chief. I could just go on and on. I'm not real tickled, and I don't mean to, like I have a hard on for Wood River, but I just don't understand their lack of participation. They give me a lot of jurisdiction, malarkey about that. Not my jurisdiction. Well, it's not my jurisdiction either.
Right.
But I'm volunteering my time, so someone from that, or that governmental organization might want to volunteer their time too.
Exactly, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, and too, I for the folks at home going, are you taking shots? You aren't. Just it's 67 degrees outside, and it's a fact. It's
no,
as
I'm
simple
not taking
as
shots at
that.
anybody.
No.
I'm just trying. But like I said from the very beginning, I didn't get into this to make any friends.
No.
But I made a lot of new friends, by the way.
Well, and that's what that's what I think is cool about this, is seeing where the journey's really taking you and becoming, in a position where you're having the county engineer going, hey, go on the air, you can talk about this, we trust you, and really becoming I hate to say it, but almost the figurehead in a way of adopt a highway here locally, and just picking up.
Oh, it's funny. I sent Kurt Prenzler that picture of that Madison, that chain gang sign, and he called me. He wanted to know where that chain gang was at. And he was concerned. Like, I haven't seen that chain gang. I think he may have thought it. He's a smart guy, but I may have caught him on that one. But yeah, I enjoy. I talked to him on the phone once in a while. I sent my magnets in my truck. I sent copies of that to Chris DeCliff, and I like keeping in contact with those people.
Well, it's great to do, and I wanted to ask you one more time, for the folks at home that are interested on this, what's the number to call for the Madison County program?
That would be Adam Walden. He's the county engineer at 618-296-4540. Now, I did not tell him that I would have people contacted him, so that may be a pleasant surprise for him. But I encourage you to give him a call and let him know you're interested in this. Tell me you want to beat out Rusty. You want to be the first one.
I do. I'm ready.
Hey, and if it's anybody else but you, I'm okay with it. But I highly encourage everybody to do that. Even just family groups. I mean, if they have a section of a county road, it doesn't have to be a long stretch. No. It could be a 2-mile stretch, whatever you want to do.
Gotcha. So that's what I was going to ask you. If there's a rubric of, does it have to be a 10-mile or can it be a mile road? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I have on 143, I have, it's about almost 2 miles.
Wow.
It's almost 2 miles, and it takes me about 3 hours if there's a lot of trash out there to be picked up, it takes me about 3 hours to walk it completely. Of course, it's an up and down, it's a hill, it's a pretty good sized hill, so, but yeah, about 3 hours of your time twice a month, it's not that big a deal.
No,
it's not that big a deal, and it's very, very little compared to what our community gives us back.
Absolutely. And Rusty, I told you, we'll talk for 15 minutes. I kept you for 45. I'm sorry for that today, man.
Okay. I could talk all day, man. Hand me that microphone.
Well, the thing is, man, like I said to start off this interview, I tell people time and time again, it's easy for me to get up here on my soapbox and bitch and moan until the camera turns off, but to actually be out there what you're doing and getting the work done is really cool, and hopefully inspires the next generation to do the same.
I'm nothing unique. There's many, many individuals that do a lot more than I do, but my cliche is not what you do, it's what they think you do.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Hey, if you guys see Rusty and the chain gang on the side of the road picking up trash, don't throw a tea bottle at him. Just give him a honk.
Stop by and say hi.
Exactly. I like it. Hey, Rusty, thank you for your time today, sir.
Thank you.
It's 9:53. We'll take a quick break. We'll wrap up the 9 o'clock hour. More of our daily show rolls around the corner after this.